Hey everybody, it's Ben here. I fixed the supercharging on my Tesla, but you won't believe what the issue was, because I know I sure didn't. Check out my first time successfully supercharging. I think this is try number 5 of supercharging. Who knows, maybe we'll get lucky. No way. Can't believe that worked. Now, do you hear that doubt in my voice there? It's because I really didn't think that what I did would actually fix the supercharging, except that it actually did. Now, before we get to what the solution was, I just want to point out what things weren't the cause of supercharging not working on this car. It was not because of my Tesla account or billing information. It was not because of salvage or an insurance buyout. That was the number one thing people commented on. They said, oh, well, if your car was probably a wreck or an insurance buyout or something like that. It wasn't. It was just a used car with a clean title. That wasn't the issue at all either. Now, the only thing I really had to go on to figure this out was one particular error. And looking through some web forums, that error seemed to indicate an issue with the AC battery charger. So I took apart the back seat to see if I could get at the battery charger, and lo and behold, I find a mouse nest. Well, it turns out rodent damage wasn't an issue either. I took apart the junction box. I took a look at the contactors in there that actually connect from the supercharger to the battery. Those worked fine. The only thing that I couldn't really check was the AC battery charger itself, but it seemed that that was the likely culprit. And because the first generation battery chargers really weren't that expensive, I just ordered one off of eBay. Now, in the meantime, I was still taking a look through some web forums, and I did find something that caught my attention. There was one comment where somebody, their supercharging didn't work. They had to replace the fuse in their battery, and after replacing the fuse, the supercharging did work. Well, that sounded a little weird to me, because what's the main fuse have to do with supercharging? And then I found a couple other comments where actually somebody had symptoms on their vehicle exactly like what was going on with my vehicle, and he explained what he did and how many months and trial and error that he had to work to figure out what the issue was. And then quickly following up that comment, somebody else essentially said the same thing. Now, for context, so you really have a much better understanding of what was really going on with this solution, we actually have to go back in time, back to the early days of the Tesla Model S. There was actually a feature nobody uses anymore, and believe it or not, that's what caused the trouble. So back in the day, these cars were actually introduced with a feature of being able to do a battery hot swap.
And so we designed the Model S from the beginning to be capable of swapping out the battery pack faster than you can fill a gas tank.
Essentially, the idea was you'd be able to go to some sort of special station, your entire battery would be removed and quickly replaced with a fully charged battery, and you'd be able to do this faster than it would take to get a tank of gas. So in theory, maybe we'd have these all over the country, stop in very quickly, be off on the road again. Now, to make this work, there's a few design elements, and one is you need the electrical connectors to be able to connect and disconnect very quickly. Now, on typical automotive electrical connections, they're usually sealed with an O-ring, and there's some sort of a catch or a clip, something like that. So when you put the two electrical connectors together, there's a click, and you know that they're solidly together. But to take them apart, you usually have to use a screwdriver, push something down, release a hook, something like that to be able to pull them back apart. Now, you can't do that if you have a big machine that just drops the entire battery pack off the car. So these cars instead had what they called the rapid mate connector. And that's essentially a connector, one side on the battery, one side on the car. And on the car side, they're spring loaded. I didn't have any great footage of this, but if we look at one clip earlier, I have a shot of the battery side after we took the battery off the car. Even though it's very dirty right here, you can see the connectors. Of course, I cleaned all that off before putting it back in the car. Now, while we had the battery out, I did get some footage of the rapid mate connectors on the car. So let's take a look at this. I just want to show, this is the connector, the high voltage connector, and we need to make sure that's clean, make sure that the rubber gasket around it is clean and not bent over or anything.
I would wiggle it with your hand, show that it moves a little bit.
It's got springs back here, same with this. And this actually, it's spring loaded. It'll actually move up and down a little.
You get a lot of dirt to fall out of your battery while you're working on it.
So this pin lines it, and then it kind of pushes up in there when you put the battery in. Same with the high voltage one here. So what you can see there is that these connectors are spring loaded, so the battery can just whoop right up to the bottom of the car, and in theory, everything's properly connected. But because it's just a spring pushing a connector down in there, there's no positive connection, you know, there's no click, there's nothing that says, yes, this connector is fully seated. So if in that connector, if it's dirty or maybe it's on a little bit of an angle, something like that, you could actually have the battery all the way up to the car and yet not have a complete connection. And this is where it gets weird, because I didn't have any other strange errors or anything else with the car. Everything else worked fine except for the supercharging. But on a Facebook group, somebody said exactly what the issue was simply seating the low voltage rapid mate connector. And that's what I did. Now, it wasn't that easy. I still had to jack the car back up in the air, get enough room to work under it, take all the plastic panels off the bottom. Only then was I able to get my hand all the way up in there, reach around, find where that low voltage connector was, and push it down. And I could feel it move just a little bit, but it definitely moved, and it was then fully seated. Sorry, I don't have footage of it, but there was barely enough room for my fingers up in there, let alone a camera. But after I got that seated, I did then go to the supercharging station, and in fact, it supercharged just fine after that. So I'm glad that this fixed the supercharging. On the other hand, I had also already ordered a used AC charger. I rushed back home, went on my computer, looked at my eBay account, and in the time it took me to get home, my order had shipped. It was too late to cancel it. I double-checked the details. If I wanted to return it, I'd have to pay the shipping, and it's a heavy item. Frankly, it wasn't going to be worth it to ship it back. So now I have an AC charger that I don't need. But these Teslas actually could use 2 chargers. So in theory, I could just install this new charger that I have in the empty space in the car, and in theory, have double the charging speed. But at the same time, you know what? Overnight at home is just fine, and on the road, I've got supercharging. So I don't know what I'd need the second charger for. And then I also had a very good idea for something else I might want to do with that space under the back seat where that second charger would go. And if we're lucky, you'll see more about that in a future video. So I guess the real takeaway here is if you've got an older Tesla Model S and you have to take the battery pack off, absolutely make sure to clean up those rapid mate connectors on both the battery and the car side. Make sure the connectors are clean, use a little electronics cleaner in there, make sure that the rubber seals are not folded over, that they look good, they're clean and lubed, and make sure at the back of the car side connector that those springs can freely move. Clean it, lubricate it, make sure it slides up and down nicely. And then after reinstalling the battery, make sure that low voltage connector is set all the way down. You know, get your hands up in there and check it before finishing up the installation of putting the battery back in place. So I hope this video helps somebody else, if somebody else had the same problem with supercharging. If not, if you only just find this entertaining, hey, you know what, that's great as well. I really do enjoy learning and sharing, and I hope that you do too. If so, please take a look at the entire playlist of videos on repairing this old Tesla. I also have a lot of other great older videos on electric vehicles, do-it-yourself, renewable energy, and a lot of other projects. I'm also on Patreon, so if you like this sort of thing and would support me there, that would be absolutely fantastic. Helps me keep making things like this and pay for parts for a car like this right here. So please like, comment, subscribe, share these videos with your friends, put them out on social media. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, stay charged up.